Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my crochet channel. Are you ready for step number 3 in our crochet along? So what this is, if you haven't been following, is we are doing a PW, which stands for Pioneer Woman, crochet along. It is the 5-spice throw blanket. We're using 5 different colorways and 5 different stitches. Step 1 was the granny style stitches. Step 2 was the cross stitches. And so today we're going to be doing step 3. It is the front post, back post alternating stitch. It's a really fun way to learn how to do front post and back post stitches and have a nice, beautiful texture. The yarn that we're going to be using today is called Brilliant Blooms. It's a long striping yarn. And again, if you want to know all the materials, all the multiples, all the measurements, all the information for our crochet along, you can click that link that's provided down in the notes underneath this video. There's one that says crochet pattern. That has the written pattern with all the pictures that I'm adding to each day as I make a video. When you go to that blog, be sure and refresh that page each day so you don't miss out on all the new stuff. Okay, and then also there is a link for a playlist. And that's our playlist here on YouTube, where I have all the videos that we're making put in that playlist. Okay, and the crochet along is going from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the 5 different stitches and the 5 different yarns. And then on next Monday, which will be a 6th video, will be how to trim and finish off the blanket. All right? All right, well, let's get started with step number 3. So here is the swatch that I've been using to teach you the stitches. Now remember, your blanket needs to have 110 stitches on every row, okay? Now mine doesn't because of course I'm working off a swatch. So when you've completed your 5th row of cross stitches, because we did a solid row of double crochets and then 5 rows of the cross stitches in the color 2. So we used coral stripes for the granny square rows, and then we used the solid coral for the cross stitch rows. Now we're going to be using this called Brilliant Blooms. It has blues and teals and white, and then more of those shades of coral in it. All right. When you get to your last row, you're not going to chain 3. We're going to bring in our new color and then chain 3, because again, that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And again, what I do is I make what's called just a little stay knot, and that just helps it stay where it's supposed to be until we can come back in and weave that in. It's frustrating for those to come undone. All right, so we have a chain 3. We're going to turn our work, and for the first row, for step number 3, we're going to do a solid row of double crochet. So our chain 3 counts as our first. We'll double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to place a double crochet in each of those stitches across. And as we've been working our cross stitches, we've been looking at the top. That helps us know that we've made the right stitches or in the right places as well, because we want to make sure that we put a double crochet in each of those stitches. And sometimes if you just look at the top where those loops are, it kind of looks like a braid going down there, only there's only 2 loops, not 3 like a braid has. And you make sure that you put a stitch in each one of those. That will help you keep track and keep on the right amount of stitches. Your solid row of double crochet should have 110 double crochet stitches. That is if you didn't adjust the pattern to make it wider. So we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way across. I have placed 1 double crochet in each of my double crochets across. And remember, you're going to have a lot more because I'm just working off a swatch to show you how to do the stitches. When you get to your last double crochet, we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. Alrighty, now we're going to double crochet in the next stitch because our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. Now we're going to do what's called a front post double crochet. So we're going to still make a double crochet. We're just not going to put it up here. We're going to put it around the post of the stitch. And we'll stitch a front post in the next double crochet. Then in the next 2 double crochets, we'll just stitch a regular double crochet. 1 and 2. All right, so what our repeat is, this is row 14 because our double crochet row was row 13. We're going to stitch 1 double crochet front post in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and then 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're alternating 2 front post double crochets and 2 regular double crochets all the way across our row. And that's our repeat for row 14. 2 front post, 2 regular, 2 front post, 2 regular, 2 front post, 2 regular, repeat all the way across. So I have completed row 14 across on my swatch, and again you're going to have a whole lot more stitches, but we started with 2 double crochets and then we alternated 2 front post doubles, 2 regular doubles, 2 front post doubles, 2 regular doubles all the way across, and you should end with 2 regular double crochet stitches. All right, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work, and now we're working on the back side of our work. All right, so we're going to double crochet in that next double crochet because again our chain 3 counts as our first. And so now in those next 2 stitches we're going to stitch a back post double crochet. Because we're working from the back of our work, we're stitching a double crochet in the back posts of the previous front post. All right, so let me turn this over so you can see we stitched our 2 back posts in those 2 front post stitches because we're working on the back side of our work. And then we're just going to double crochet in the next 2. 1, 2, and then we'll stitch a back post in the next 2 front posts, and then 1 double crochet in the next 2. So we're not doing a basket weave. In a basket weave we would stitch front post and back post back and forth. We're not doing that because that has a tendency to pull it in a little bit. And we want the texture without the bunching. All right, so we're stitching 1 double crochet in the regular double crochets and then 1 back post double crochet in the 2 front post double crochets. All right, and again, if you turn it over and look at it, you can see where we have the double crochets in the double crochets and the back posts in the back or the front posts of the previous row. Give you a little bit of an angle there. All right, so we'll continue this all the way across for row 15. So I have completed row 15 on my swatch. This is how it looks on the back. It's still really pretty. Let's go ahead and do our chain 3 and turn our work. And you can really see those spots in between where we did our regular double crochets and then our front post and back post stitches. All right, so our chain 3 counts as our first. We'll double crochet in the next, and then we'll stitch our front posts in the back post from the previous row. So this just keeps our post stitches all lined up together. And it also gives it just a little bit of a mock cable look. And so we're stitching our front posts and our back post stitches from the previous row with 2 double crochets in between each of those sets of 2. And so basically, we're just repeating what we did earlier. And you can really see where we have these indentations in between where we did our regular double crochets and then our front posts sticking out there. Beautiful texture. All right, and so we'll just repeat this across just like we did down here. So I have completed row 16, which was a repeat of row 14, where we did 2 regular double crochets, 2 front posts all the way across, chain 3, and now we're going to repeat and do a row of the back post and a row of the front post, which will get us row 17 and row 18. So we're going to chain 3 and turn, and we'll do a row of 2 double crochets, 2 back posts all the way across, chain 3 and turn, and then 1 more row of 2 double crochets, front post. So basically we're going to repeat row 14 and 15 one more time each. I have completed those 2 more rows, and this brings us up to row 18. Our first 6 rows, we did our foundation row and then 5 rows of our granny stitch. Step 2, we did a foundation row of double crochets and 5 rows. Then for step 3, we did a foundation double crochet row and then 5 rows of our front post, back post stitch pattern. And you can see it makes a really nice texture from stitch to stitch, but it's not a real heavy texture because this actually is a throw blanket, not a heavy blanket. All right? All righty. And so now that we've completed step 3, I want to show you what it looks like on my actual blanket. So we have step 1, step 2, and step 3. And you can see how that makes such a beautiful texture that's even obvious in this variegated striping yarn. All right, so that's steps 1, step 2, and step 3. Now tomorrow we're going to do step 4, and it's going to be in this solid blue, and the stitch that we're going to do I'm calling a triple crunch, and I think you're really going to enjoy doing it. It's one of those stitches that's really a lot of fun. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow for step number 4.